Hello, everyone. This is Town Manager John Potter broadcasting from the BCTV studios in Brattleboro, Vermont, with the latest episode of the Town Matters podcast. This podcast is a quick update on what is happening in Brattleboro town government. Today, we're going to look back at the Select Board's meeting on Tuesday, July 23rd, and we'll give you a heads up for the agenda to be discussed on the night of Tuesday, August 6th. I have the draft minutes in front of me for the board's second meeting in July on July 23rd. They approved the minutes of July 9th and considered a consent agenda that had 7 items on it originally, but 2 were pulled by a select board member for further discussion. The items that were approved were a bid award for the DPW sand and salt shed installation in the amount of $106,000. An HVAC replacement for the transportation center awarded in the amount of $33,350. A contract for $73,280 awarded to Public Safety Consulting of New England for mental health wellness services. A fire bucket truck replacement was awarded in the amount of $165,589. And finally on the consent was acceptance of a grant for $10,000 from the Equitable and Inclusive Communities Grant Program for town trainings. The consent agenda was approved 5-0. There were 2 items that were originally on the consent agenda and were pulled. One was awarding of bids for the Living Memorial Park generational improvement projects, and the other one was the quarterly fire department report for the end of fiscal 24, quarter 4. So the board took up the Living Memorial Park generational improvement projects bid awards as their first item following the consent agenda. And during this consideration of this item, they awarded 7 low bid contracts totaling approximately $4.2 million for the Living Memorial Park generational improvement projects, including several contracts for work at the skating rink, replacement of the maintenance building, electrical upgrades for the park, and lighting at the Kiwanis shelter. This left the overall project that was approved at RTM in 2023 $415,000 under budget, which the board delegated authority to use for change orders up to $30,000 per instance. The quarterly fire department report for FY24 through quarter 4 that was on consent was pulled and will be addressed at an upcoming meeting. Next, under old business, the board did a second reading of changes to the parking ordinance. In this reading, they heard from staff about incorporating several changes requested by the board following public comment during the first reading of the parking ordinance, including a graduated increase to parking permit rates and additional 15-minute free parking spots. The new fine and fee schedule and the parking ordinance was approved by the board 5-0. Moving into new business, the Select Board was joined by members of the Brattleboro Legislative Delegation, Senators Nader Hashim and Wendy Harrison, and Representatives Emily Kornheiser and Tristan Tolino. The board and the legislative delegation discussed a number of topics, including affordable housing, a drug and family treatment docket, the car trespass bill that passed in 2024 session, public safety, making EBT cards non-transferable, ready-to-work programs, Medicaid coverage for additional drug treatment, and mental health reforms. No motion was required for this item. After a short break, the board resumed the meeting for a community safety update from Jim Baker of the Governor's Public Safety Enhancement Team. They also heard a report from Assistant Chief Jeremy Evans on the Brattleboro Police Department's data project. And finally, for a community safety update, there was a discussion of next steps on this topic to be coming over the course of the next several months. There was no motion on this item, and following community safety, the board approved changes to the EMS billing and collections policy that would allow the town to take advantage of new legislation that provides Medicare coverage for ambulance calls that do not result in transport. Finally, the board made several committee appointments. Jackie Reese and Judy Sipensky were appointed to the Citizens Police Communications Committee, and Michael LaFontano was appointed to the Tree Advisory Board. The next Select Board meeting is a regular meeting scheduled for Tuesday, August 6th. On the consent agenda are 3 items: consideration of a first and third class liquor license for Snow Republic, 2 bid awards, one in the amount of $54,600 for a retaining wall project on Brannan Street, up off of William Street, and a bid award for $26,670 for replacing the gymnastics spring floor in the gymnastics room at the Gibson Aikens Center. Under old business, the board will check in with the fire chief and assistant fire chief on the item that was pulled from consent on July 23rd, the quarterly fire department report for FY24 through quarter 4. Under new business at the meeting on August 6th, the first item will be an update on the AHS Emergency Housing Program, and Deputy Commissioner Miranda Gray will join the board to inform them about changes to that emergency housing program at the state level. Next, the board will consider a change order request and get an update on the Pleasant Valley Water Treatment Facility project, which is nearing completion. Then they will hear from the finance director on a quarterly financial report for fiscal year 24 through the end of quarter 4. Following that, there will be consideration of a potential property acquisition for a 12-acre piece of property at 250 Burge Street, where the town has recently done a joint stream restoration project with the Vermont River Conservancy. Next, the board will consider one of its main priorities for 2024 through 26, safety zones and related campaign. So there will be a discussion about that on August 6th. Finally, the board has committee appointments on its agenda. I have several brief announcements here. And first off is an invitation for everyone to come out and join the Brattleboro Police Department at National Night Out. This family-friendly event will be happening on Tuesday, August 6th from 5 to 8 p.m. at the Brattleboro Common. The event will include plenty of activities for kids, including a touch-a-truck event, a dunk tank, games, and giveaways. Officers will also be available to chat or answer questions. National Night Out is an annual community building campaign held throughout America on the first Tuesday in August. The Recreation and Parks Department is seeking feedback on a new public survey regarding the future of the pool at Living Memorial Park. Rank the latest conceptual designs by visiting brattleboro.gov. If you have additional feedback or need help submitting this form, call the Rec and Parks Department at 802-254-5808 or email recreation@brattleboro.gov. Another note on the pool, the summer season is winding down. Can you believe it? The pool's hours of operation will be reduced to 1 to 6 p.m. during the weeks of August 4th and August 11th. The pool will close for the season on Sunday, August 18th at 6 p.m. The statewide primary election will be happening on Tuesday, August 13th. Brattleboro voters can vote in person that day at the American Legion located at 32 Linden Street from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Please visit brattleboro.gov for more election information. So that's a few timely announcements and a summary of what the Select Board has been addressing. Please see the town website, brattleboro.gov, for lots of additional information, including agendas, reports, and backup materials. Thanks for listening, Brattleboro. We'll see you again soon.